Great phone call to end the last hour. Eric in San Diego asked the question, with the success that the Padres have had and Aztec basketball and Aztec women's basketball and all the local colleges. UCSD is doing great as well. Point Loma Nazarene has done a good job in Division II. MLS team now off to a good start. We'll talk more about the MLS in our next segment, as well as give away tickets for their upcoming game on Saturday. 2 tickets to this Saturday's San Diego FC game against the Columbus Crew at Snapdragon Stadium. You get tickets now at sandiegofc.com/tickets. San Diego Wave did well. The Legion have done well. You know, the goals started off strong their first year here and then kind of fell off, but the Ducks organization has started to turn it around in the last couple of months. The goals have been red hot. So the question was, has San Diego started to become more relevant in the grand scheme of things in the sports world as not a city that isn't a sports town? I would say that it is. I think it's slower than people think. Slowly but surely becoming a sports town. I think the Padres' success has been a major part of that. I think obviously getting an MLS team is a part of that. I think the Aztecs going to a Final Four a couple of years ago and being a contender every year for the NCAA tournament is a part of that. I think UCSD's recent success is a part of that. USD's Olympic sports, slightly. And the thing is the majority of the sports, obviously, that people really want to care about are at the highest level. And right now, the only team that's in town is the Padres. But I think where it started to turn in favor of San Diego is honestly when the Chargers left. I think when the Chargers left, it allowed for other teams and other entities to really come into their own sports-wise in San Diego. I think the growth that the community has had in the last couple of years has allowed that. I think the fact that a lot of people can get behind the San Diego Padres and what they have done to fill the void of the Chargers has done that. I think the fact that the Chargers leaving and some of their fans saying, the hell with them, I'm going to root for somebody else in San Diego, that not necessarily were Padre fans jumping on the Padres fandom. And then the Padres going out and spending money has led to this particular point and making San Diego and Petco Park specifically the place to be on the weekends and on weeknights over the summertime has gotten fans to the point where they like doing that with other sports in town. I think it's slowly growing. I don't think we're at that level yet. But I think with the way that the Padres filled the void, they filled the void of the Chargers for a lot of people. I think the way that they made all these moves at the right time, I think the way that the business side of things of the Padres and Petco Park made Petco Park the place to be and the party to be has led to a lot of people that will go to games, have a great time, and want to be able to do that year-round. And so they'll go buy season tickets for other teams in town. They enjoy going to the Goals games. They enjoy going to the Seals games. They enjoy going to the local colleges. You know, treating the local colleges like that professional level organization, especially in the ones in for the teams of the leagues that we don't have, NBA, NHL. You know, it'd be nice for San Diego State football to get going and get the city behind them. I mean, that's been a major challenge for decades. They got to be able to play better to win people over. I mean, the facility's nice, and people love going to Snapdragon, but they got to build the football team up. Because if they don't build the football team up, that's bad news for the Aztecs. And I'm surprised they haven't done it yet. It's part of their plans, but they got to start building up around the stadium too. That's where they make all their money back, and it gets people in the area. I mean, San Diego State football, even though it's fun to tailgate, I still think it's a dying breed. It's a dying element of American sports. But with the plans that the Aztecs had in place for the Mission Valley land, they were going to put in a bunch of retail and everything surrounding the stadium, which should be bars and restaurants to get people down there. College football game, and go watch some college games at some local establishments right next to Snapdragon, and then walk into the stadium for a football game. That's the next order of business, I think, for San Diego, especially the Aztecs. But their biggest problem is they can't get out of the way of their own admin. They have a potential to do a lot of great things with that football program with the brand new stadium, but they got to embrace it and they got to dive in. They got to do what UCSD is doing and just being fully involved in making their athletics important and having that brand and pumping the money into the program. They do it for basketball. They got to start doing it for football. But hopefully the way that this is, and I think a lot of people in Southern California are liking sports a lot more. I think the Padres have helped out with that. And hopefully with the MLS team and the way that San Diego has supported a lot of different teams now, it will lead to more teams coming to San Diego. I get the question all the time. If you could pick one league to bring in to San Diego, what league would it be? I'd take any of them, to be honest with you. That's usually my answer. I know they're working on trying to build a new arena down at the sports arena. That's half the problem of the city is the facilities. But the ones that have good facilities have a lot of good turnout. But if they could build a new sports arena, then that thing's older than dirt, and upgrade that, maybe it is more enticing for another league to come in from the arena side. Now, with the Ducks being close, and obviously the Lakers and the Clippers up in Los Angeles, there's going to be a lot of fight, but a lot of these leagues want to expand to a lot more markets and everything like that. Worst comes to worst, build it up big enough, and you might be able to get maybe the Aztecs can play a couple of games there. You host some preseason tournaments there without San Diego State. So the Aztecs are thinking about potentially upgrading Viejas. That's long overdue. And Viejas is still a nice arena. But with all the new areas that you can go to games or like where you go to stadiums and they have all these group seating and these nice clubs to be in and everything like Snapdragon's got, it's only a matter of time for Aztec basketball starts getting those as well. But I think a lot of people that have moved to San Diego have embraced the San Diego teams. I think a lot of the fact that it becomes harder and harder to live here money-wise has kept a lot of people here instead of having new people show up. So the transplant population is not necessarily growing as much. And a lot of kids that are in my generation are staying with it and watching a lot of San Diego sports. And I think that's huge for this town. The more support we could give for San Diego sports, I think the better it makes our sports city. And you'd love to be able to see more sports here in town at the professional level, and hopefully the college teams can get a lot better too, especially with Aztec football. That's a big void. We got Aztec basketball filling an NBA void, and it's going to be almost impossible to fill an NFL level void, but it would be nice to get Aztec football going in town. Just hired a brand new general manager. See how that plays out. I still believe in Sean Lewis, even after the first year of Aztec Fast was more like Aztec Slow. They kept a lot of the good core players. There'll be a quarterback battle again. They're getting ready for spring football, and hopefully they can get going. They got Oklahoma coming to town in a couple of years. We'll see how that